When I was in first grade, I took an IQ test at my school, my elementary school, and I remember scoring in a very high percentile. But earlier today, I came to realize one way that my high IQ has sometimes interfered with my better judgment at times. So earlier today, at work, we had a little discussion, like a mini performance review, if you will. And I brought in a notepad that I have been using to jot notes throughout the year. And I was talking to my manager, and on the notepad, every other page was a giant word, stop, across the page. And the reason, I know why I jotted that, my boss didn't know, but I knew. I explained to my boss that stop was the very first word that I learned when I was 3 years old. And sometimes it brings me a little comfort. But I know the real reason I wrote the stop. The real reason is sometimes in the middle of the day at my workplace, my mind runs out of control and I write the word stop to kind of tell myself to stop. And I've been doing this for many years actually. When I was working on my PhD, 1 month I was collecting coins, and the coin that I wanted to buy had dropped in price considerably. And I was trying to think how I could negotiate an even better deal and how I could make this all work out. I had a credit card that gave a percent reward back, and I was going to negotiate with the seller, but perhaps he wanted a check so that he wouldn't get the fee, and so I would want an even better deal if it was by check because I wouldn't be getting the rewards. And my mind was racing through this. I was working on a group project with my classmates, but all I could think about was the coin and how I was going to negotiate the coin. And I couldn't pay attention to the meeting. So in the middle of the meeting, I got out, actually it was a dry erase marker if I remember correctly, and I had a piece of paper in front of me and I wrote stop across the piece of paper. And my classmate got really confused, and my classmate and I we were on very good terms. So to give you an idea of how good a term we were, he was the first guy I told when I lost my virginity. He was the first guy I ever bragged to. So I felt comfortable explaining to him that my mind was racing out of control and I really needed to pay attention to the project. Sometimes I get way too smart to my detriment when I'm really trying to relax. So a couple years ago, I had gone on vacation to Gdansk, Poland, and I was trying to time when I would change my currency from US dollars to Polish zloty. And I thought the price was going to drop, so I only changed $20, $30 at the counter, and I was hoping to go back the next day. But the next day the price was higher, so I only changed a few more bucks. And I drove myself insane. It really eroded at the vacation that I was trying to do this. I really should have been enjoying my vacation. I drive myself crazy every time I think about when to buy gasoline for the same reason. I don't know. I sometimes outsmart myself to the point that I'm not even looking at the big picture anymore. It kind of reminds me of how when I watch Forensic Files, when some criminals get way too smart beyond themselves, and I do that a lot. Obviously, none of what I'm doing is totally wrong, but it gets the opposite effect of what I'm trying to do when you zoom out in the big picture. What else have I done before? Sometimes I optimize so much is what I'm trying to say. I had a problem with my car being towed one time because I used to hate having to move my car from one spot to another when I could get physical activity, or I just didn't want to waste gas or cause trouble with the environment. And long story short, some of the businesses didn't like me keeping the car for a very long term. I've gotten warnings, and then one time I've got towed for such. I've learned that sometimes just a quick buzz to the person working, hey, I'm just going to go next door. I don't want to be moving my car because I'm not a very experienced driver. Sometimes I'll even bring up that excuse. it helps that I look a lot younger than my age, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Sometimes it's worth a quick buzz to avoid that problem, and plus it gives me a chance to interact socially with other people. But really, I'm just being greedy, that's all. But my high IQ sometimes gets in the way, so it's not something that you necessarily want to be envious with. It really depends on what you want to do with your life, if whether or not you have a high IQ will matter. Thanks for watching.